COVID is one of many challenges that informal workers and residents of informal settlements are facing. So we tried to understand those challenges and those changes over time in comparison in these different cities. But I think equally important was to understand the ways that the federations are responding very creatively to reinvigorate their savings groups, to come up with new ways to advocate for a more inclusive and just future. So those are the kind of insights you can't get unless you're together. And equally amazing was that we got to go visit some of the informal settlements, including Matare, where we learned about the physical addressing system that's been one of the main responses to COVID. And we also visited these amazing projects in Gorogocho to revive the riparian reserve, and learned also about their food generation using various new technologies that were really quite inspiring. So we got so much out of the exchanges, both in our group and then also in the field.
The workshop has been very insightful, especially after the four presentations from the 3 countries. What I would say I picked up the most is we're beginning to see linkages between like what is actually transpiring on the ground in the 4 countries, and I guess our way forward is to bring together these linkages and find a narrative.
There's nothing for us without us, and with unity actually we can achieve our dreams, and we can have a dignified urban life in our informal settlements. What we are really championing is for dignity in our informal settlements. We want inclusivity in decision making and planning, and also we want the community to be distributed with enough working and equipped services. Not only having a physical structure, but having all the tools that needs to keep the facility ongoing for the betterment of the community.
So what stood out the most from the workshop is how best we can translate the findings from the research into action. I saw how participants gave out their ideas on how best we can mobilize different stakeholders to start taking action. So the media part, for me, it stood out because we were able to discuss together how best we can do both online and offline campaigns, popularizing the results from the findings, and soliciting ideas or action from other institutions within the nations that we are coming from, so that together we can find sustainable ways of supporting informal settlements to build back better from the pandemic.
We wanted to highlight, among many things, how organized communities can play such a pivotal role, both before a crisis, during a crisis, and in the recovery. So we tried to understand how savings groups can play all these different roles. We looked at other groups such as community health workers or village health teams, trying to understand the sort of catalytic power of these different community and civil society groups, and also to try to find out ways to build on some good practices. We recognize there's been so many challenges, and we want to both look back but also look forward and see if there are any kind of seeds of more progressive recovery. And for that, you'll have to wait and see for our final outputs. But we're looking forward to having a very positive campaign that shows not just all of the obstacles that COVID has only made worse, but trying to see if there are seeds for better ways forward.
Let the community be at the forefront of trying to find some of the solutions in this, and let the community be involved in any development of any change that is happening in their various communities. And also we really need to appreciate the community health volunteers more so because they really play a big role. As we have seen during COVID times, they really responded to the emergencies. So we really need to support them in that they can get their PPEs, their kits, and also be given a lot of trainings in handling different types of emergencies, and also the community to have a continuous capacity strengthening in civic education. Let's learn on how to handle things in our communities, not only with this pandemic, with whatever issues that are coming from the informal settlements, and in generally they're affecting the whole country.
Moving forward, what I would encourage all the countries that are undertaking this research project is that let's now start popularizing these findings. I think for so long we have done projects where the research findings, they just gather dust in our offices. But I think right now, it's time to start reaching out to institutions that can come up and support the informal settlements as they are building their resilience. I think it's time to even build the capacity of the informal settlements themselves, so that they themselves start doing something, so that as other institutions, whether government or CSOs are coming up, they find them already ready.
Well, I want to extend my gratitude to the COVID Collective, which is one of the partners that we've worked with in this research, the University of Manchester, and the entire SDI Collective from Cape Town, the Secretariat, and Muungano wa Vijiji, our affiliates in Uganda, in Malawi, and Zimbabwe, for validating that organized communities are more resilient. Thank you.